Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur and healthcare practitioner, Jason Duprat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Tactical Tuesdays. On this episode, I'm going to tell you why you need to get a side hustle. A side hustle is how many businesses develop and grow into multi-million-dollar companies. My business started out as a side hustle, and now I've actually left my full-time CRNA job and just work on my business. You never know where a side hustle could take you. You can keep it a side hustle if you want and just make extra income or get some tax deductions, but you never know. You could become the next big business. So I wanted to let you know a few benefits of creating a side hustle. And so there's essentially, if you aren't aware, there's essentially two tax systems in the US. And so there's one for like the W-2 employee, which is the highest tax rate of anybody in the US, so a W-2 wage earner. And then there's another tax system that was developed for entrepreneurs and investors. And most people don't even know about this, but there's some massive tax benefits to being an entrepreneur and investor. And it just makes sense that that system exists because the government wants our economy to grow. And so they want our GDP to grow. They want to maintain their dominance. And the only way to do that is to have more revenue, more GDP producers. And so they incentivize activities that help the economy grow. And they do that in the form of tax write-offs and deductions. And so we all know that the cost of living in the US is climbing fairly rapidly. Incomes, when you adjust them for inflation, have been really stagnant. Some would even argue that they're not going up at all or even decreasing. We all have experienced the cost of education, which is literally, if you look at it on a graph, it's literally on an exponential growth curve, which is completely unsustainable. So let's just face the facts. Pretty much everybody could use a little extra more money in their pockets, and there's multiple ways to accomplish that. I'm not a fan of working extra long hours overtime in the hospital because that's going to cause burnout and health problems down the road, especially if you don't absolutely love being in the hospital for 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week. If you have known me for any time at all, you know that I think every single person should have a side hustle of some sort. So not only to take advantage of tax write-offs, but also to create additional streams of income for yourself, for your family, and for your vacations, for your retirement accounts. It's vital to have multiple streams of income. Most millionaires and multimillionaires in the world have, I actually read this statistic not too long ago, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 12 streams of income is what the average multimillionaire has. So if you only have one stream of income called your job, you've got 11 more streams of income to build if you want to have the best odds of being a millionaire or multimillionaire, having some financial freedom so you're not strapped to your job and 100% dependent on your job. Because like I've said before, your job, your employer is not beholden to keep you as an employee. They're going to do whatever's in their best interest as a business. And so you need to look out for your own best interest. And one of the best ways to do that is to create a side hustle or multiple side hustles. So you have multiple streams of income. So the options for creating side hustles are practically limitless. So most people have hobbies or various interests that they do when they're not at work. What I always recommend is to first try and create some sort of a business around those hobbies or interests, because it's never going to feel like you're doing more work. And that's because you're already interested in what you're doing. You already love it. You have a passion for it. So you should always try to create a side hustle around your hobbies or interests. And I'm also a huge proponent of leveraging your healthcare training and experience to create a business that also revolves around your medical training, expertise, or interests. So if you could somehow layer those or combine those two together, your interest and leverage your medical knowledge, you're going to be one step ahead of everybody else. I could create a massive course or list of things that you could do to create a side hustle, but here's just a few ideas to sort of get the neurons firing, and you can do a little meditation or take a walk or relax in the shower and really let those creative juices flow and start to come up with some ideas that might fit your personality, your interest, your background in training and medical training. So one example is if you love traveling and you want to be able to work online from anywhere in the world, you could become a medical blog writer. Some people can make some serious cash writing blogs. One of my contractors that I work with is a blogger. I have another contractor who's literally not lived in any country longer than 3 months for the last 5 years. He calls himself a digital nomad, and he writes sales copy for emails or web pages, and he makes his living on the road from a laptop from anywhere in the world. He was last in Romania. Last photo I saw of him, he was in Bulgaria. Before that, he was in Rome. He's just been all over, loving life and living life to the fullest started out as a side gig, and now he just does it full time. Some other people are making some pretty good, substantial side hustle income as working as legal consultants. They're reviewing medical charts and providing opinions. Other people that I have met have become career coaches, and you could be a physician teaching other physicians about career opportunities. You could be teaching high schoolers or undergrad students about the potentials of where you could go in medicine. Same thing with nursing, same thing with any other healthcare related profession. There's always a demand for career coaching. Another idea is that you could start an Amazon sellers account and start to sell products on Amazon. These could literally be any sort of product, but you could leverage your healthcare experience and your credentials, leverage that trust that goes along with having that RN degree behind your name, or that MD, or the DC, or the DPT, or whatever your credentials are. You could leverage the credibility and the trust that comes along with that and sell products online. One of the guests that was on my podcast, Dr. Hammond, is an orthopedic surgeon, and he sells orthopedic devices through an online store as a way to create an extra stream of income. And if you're not a fan of Amazon, you could create your own online store on Shopify. There's a lady who I've met online. She runs an online store called Tribe RN, and she is absolutely killing it, selling products that nurses buy and take to work: lunch pails, clipboards, stethoscopes. She's just absolutely crushing it by creating an online store, and she no longer works as a full-time nurse, which is absolutely awesome. Another idea is that if you've always wanted to teach, this is something I ran into. I wanted to teach, but I couldn't get the job because I didn't have an in. I didn't know somebody at the school, or I didn't have experience. You can just go ahead and create your own destiny. You can create your own stream of income by creating a variety of different things that allow you to teach. You could create board review seminars. You could create CE review courses, like one of my podcast guests, Dr. Laura Gasparis von Frolio. She does CEs on cruise ships, and she makes phenomenal money doing that. You could do review courses for specialty exams like the critical care RN exam, or the emergency, or the pediatric certification exam for nurses. Same thing for physicians or for any other specialty. Most specialties now have subspecialty certification exams that people are studying for. And if you've taken it and you've passed it, you can create those types of programs, those types of courses, and you can get your teaching experience right there on your own terms. You don't have to wait for somebody to hire you. You don't have to get that experience. And honestly, you'll probably make substantially more money if you do it right than you would being a professor at a university, or high school professor or teacher. Another idea is that if you love marketing, I have a friend who started up a digital marketing agency, and I've actually started my own as well on the side as an additional stream of income. But you could start a digital marketing agency, and you could target medical clinics or hospitals or surgeons, and you could do their online marketing for them from anywhere in the world. All you need is an internet connection and a laptop. Maybe you're, say, the type of person who's super creative and hands-on. Well, there's healthcare professionals out there who are making a killing selling medical related merchandise like t-shirts, mugs. I've seen tumbler mugs branded in a variety of different ways. They'll put creative text across them that's funny, that's related to a certain type of license or profession. I've seen all sorts of different ideas. And really, this is where I'm not the creative type of person, but this is where your creativity can come right into play if you love doing that sort of thing. Just one other way that you could create some side income. If you like speaking, there's speaking gigs all around the country. I went to the National Nurses in Business Association conference not too long ago. It was last year in October in Las Vegas, and I'll be going to this next one. If you guys want to come, you should come. I'll be there. We can meet up. But the speakers at that conference, they are selling their courses from stage. They are getting paid to be speakers. The Grant Cardone 10X conference, he's got entrepreneurs on there, and nobody's stopping you from doing this in the healthcare space, but he pays his speakers for that conference that we went to. Most of them were making between $50,000 and $500,000 to go speak on stage for an hour at the Grant Cardone 10X conference. Now, granted, these people are like super famous, so to make $50,000 to $500,000 for the average person's probably not that realistic unless you have a huge following. But realistic conference speaking fees are anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 for the more average type of individual. So you can make a side gig just going around to conferences and speaking. And that could also serve as sort of scratching the itch for your travel bug. You could be traveling all around the U.S. or the world doing conferences and speaking at those. I could literally go on for probably hours just rambling off ideas. I've been fortunate enough to meet an insane amount of entrepreneurs who are doing some pretty awesome things in a variety of different ways. They're making money, making their side hustle. But the point is of this podcast, the point is that there are a massive amount of ways that you could make money in a way that is on your terms, and in a way that you could utilize and leverage the education and experience that you have already worked so hard to obtain in, the medical field or the nursing field or the physical therapy field or the chiropractic field, whatever your field is. And so I would really like to encourage you to really start coming up with some ideas to create these additional sources of income for yourself. And the best part about it is that you don't have anybody telling you when you need to report to work. You don't have anybody telling you when you can take off from work. You don't have to beg for permission to get a holiday off. You're the boss. You get to choose what project you work on. You get to choose when you work on it. You get to choose if you want it to be a side hustle or if you want to scale it up into some sort of a business empire. The reins are in your hands. You're in complete control. And that's one of the best things I love about creating these side hustles. So if anybody's listening right now and they already have a business or a side hustle that's somehow related to healthcare or wellness, then definitely listen up to this part of the podcast for sure. We are in the process of creating an online program, and it's going to be composed of several dozen entrepreneurs that are somehow have a business that's healthcare related, and we are hiring these entrepreneurs to create 15 to 20, maybe 25-minute mini business courses. And so they're going to talk about what it's like to operate, own, run, what the day-to-day life looks like for somebody running the type of business that they run. And so the idea behind this course is to create a sort of registry, a massive list, a massive source of courses that can give you some really good ideas on businesses you could start and give you an idea of, is this type of business going to be something that I would want to do? Is it going to fit my personality? What's the startup cost going to be? How much could you potentially make? So we're having course creators create those for us, and it is paid, and we're going to put these all together in one course and hopefully help a bunch of people come up with some really good side hustle ideas. So if you already have a business and you are making some good side hustle money and you're interested in creating a mini course and want to make a little extra money, reach out to me, Jason at KetamineAcademy.com. I would love to talk to you and see what you're doing. We are really excited to be able to put this course, this series of courses together to help others create their own business ideas and get some really good ideas for their side hustles. And some of these could turn out to be massive businesses. If you just think your side hustle could never turn into something that makes millions, then you should really reconsider and go call up Jeff Bezos and tell him that Amazon could never have been a side hustle that started in his garage. Actually, Amazon, Microsoft, Disney, Google, Harley-Davidson, Hewlett-Packard, Mattel, Dell is just a list of a handful of side hustles that were started from the garages of the founders. And so your side hustle could turn into the next big thing. You never know if that's what you want. You don't even have to have that as an aspiration, but it could. And so you never know where this could take you. At the very least, it could save you some tax write-offs, produce a little bit of extra income for you or your family or your next vacation or your retirement account. And so I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of this. And I hope to see you starting your side hustle, or at least exploring the opportunities that are available for side hustles. And reach out to me. I always want to connect with you guys. If you could do me a huge favor and share this podcast with somebody who you think might be interested. We're always looking to grow the podcast and hopefully get some more ratings and reviews, as that will help us improve our rankings and get some other great guests on here. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.